Lizzie was stealing her neighbor's pounded yam at the backyard, devouring the food like someone who hasn't eaten for days. When she turned back, she was shocked to see all her neighbors looking at her with anger on their face. Lizzie lived in a noisy and busy compound where everyone never minded their business. Lizzie had one thing she always did in secret. She always stole her neighbor's food. Whenever Lizzie saw that her neighbors were cooking, she would wait for the perfect time to steal the food. Lizzie smelled from far. She had a dog nose. Whenever she smelled someone cooking, she would tiptoe and peep, monitoring the person who was cooking. One day, a woman was cooking porridge outside her house on a firewood. The porridge smelled so good that even people complimented the woman's food. The woman smiled at them as she continued to mix her magical ingredients inside the pot. Where Lizzie was, she started perceiving the air. Her instinct doesn't lie. She knew someone was at work again. She stood up and traced the smell. She tiptoed carefully, sniffing the air. Then she saw the woman cooking porridge. She peeped and waited for the perfect time to strike. Immediately, she saw that the woman went inside. She ran to her pot. She used the spoon for stirring the porridge to stir the porridge, and she poured the food inside her plate. When she saw that the woman was coming, she didn't even bother to cover the pot. She just took her plate of porridge and ran away. When the woman got outside, she was shocked to see her pot opened with some of her porridge spilled on the floor. She looked around to check if there was anyone around who could have done that, but there was no one in sight. Lizzie stayed inside her house and devoured the porridge. She was so happy as she drank water. She said to herself, "This is the best life ever. I don't even have to waste my money on foods again. Now I will be able to buy those expensive clothes, shoes and bags." Another day, Lizzie saw a plate of eba and egusi on a bench. She checked around to confirm if no one was looking at her. She tiptoed and opened the food, and she was excited with the sight of the food. It looked so yummy and it smelled so good. Even without tasting the food, she already knew how it tasted. She quickly carried the plate and ran away. She entered her house and started eating the eba and egusi that she stole. A man came out of his house and started shouting, disturbing the whole compound. "Who took the eba and egusi I put on this bench?" he shouted. Everyone, including Lizzie, swore not to have sent the food. Lizzie continued to steal her neighbor's food. She now used her foodstuff money to buy expensive clothes and shoes while she focused on stealing food. There was an auntie in Lizzie's compound named Shakiraat. Shakiraat was Lizzie's main target because Shakiraat was a food content creator. She sold food both online and offline. She cooked different types of meals and she had a lot of customers. Lizzie would always peep and monitor Shakiraat whenever she is cooking, looking for a perfect time or day to strike. One day, Shakira was busy cooking yam and egg for her customers. She had packed the plate inside a takeaway when she went inside to take nylon so she could package the food. Lizzie striked. She ran as fast as she could and she took the takeaway. Then she ran inside her house. When Shakira came outside, her customer food was gone. She looked around and asked everyone for her food, but everyone, including Lizzie, said they haven't seen her food. Shakira was pained as she had to refund the customer's money. Not only did she disappointed her customer that day, she was also at loss. She didn't gain and her money was gone. She also lost the customer because since that day, the customer didn't patronize her again. One day, when Lizzie went out, the compound had a meeting. They planned to put pounded yam and vegetable on the bench to see who will steal it so they can catch the thief disturbing their compound. When they concluded that they would put a drug which will make the victim purge. They didn't remember to inform Lizzie about their plan. When Lizzie came back, she saw a delicious looking pounded yam and vegetable on the bench. She peeped around to check if no one was watching. Then she started eating the food, devouring the food, not knowing it was a trap. After eating, she turned back and saw all her compound people looking at her with anger. They shouted, "So you have been the one stealing our food since all these days." They were so angry as they beat Lizzie. Even small children pointed at her and composed a shameful song for her. Lizzie was dealt with and at the same time disgraced, but the nightmare was not over. Lizzie started purging. She ran to the toilet every 3 minutes. She purged and purged till she was exhausted. Her neighbors just laughed at her while Lizzie was suffering for what she has been doing to them. From that day, Lizzie stopped stealing her neighbors' food and stuff. People who used to leave their food outside and find it mysteriously gone were shocked when their food started staying untouched. Lizzie no longer stole their food again, and the compound had peace. The end. The moral lesson of this story is stealing may seem easy at first, but it always leads to shame and consequences in the end. Thank you so much for watching. I know you loved and enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories. Bye, and I'll see you in my next story.